Donald Trump is set to meet with Vladimir Putin in Alaska. The meeting, arranged in barely a week, will mark a significant policy change for the United States. Since Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, Putin was treated as a pariah by the West and the US. So just the fact that an American president is willing to meet with Putin is being seen as a diplomatic win for the Kremlin. Given that the meeting will not include a representative from Ukraine, chances of a breakthrough are considered slim. Trump has said that he will call Ukrainian President Zelensky directly after his talks with Putin, and that he's considered the Alaska summit as a prelude to a Putin-Zelensky meeting. Trump will meet Putin at the Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson in Anchorage, Alaska. The base was created in 2010 by merging Elmendorf Air Force Base with Army Fort Richardson. It has played a key strategic role in monitoring and deterring the Soviet Union during much of the Cold War. Throughout its long history, the base hosted a large number of aircraft and oversaw operations of a variety of early warning radar sites that were aimed at detecting Soviet military activity and any possible nuclear launches. While much of the military hardware has since been deactivated, the base still hosts key aircraft squadrons, including the F-22 Raptor stealth fighter jet. Planes from the base also still intercept Russian aircraft that regularly fly into US airspace. When he was campaigning for re-election, Trump declared that he could end the Russia-Ukraine war in 24 hours. Since he returned to office in January, the US and Russia have repeatedly raised the possibility of a summit between the two leaders. Trump was initially supportive of Russia and critical of US military aid to Ukraine. He even had an unprecedented confrontation with Zelensky in the Oval Office in February.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
But as the war dragged on, Trump grew increasingly frustrated with Putin. Recently, he moved up the deadline for imposing new sanctions or tariffs unless Putin ended the war. He also raised tariffs on Indian imports to the US to 50% to penalize it for continued imports of Russian oil. With the sanctions deadline looming, the Russians requested a summit with Trump. It is possible that Putin is using the summit as another stalling tactic, as well as a way to try and improve freight ties with Washington. He also might seek to discuss issues outside the framework of Ukraine, including economic deals or cooperation in the Arctic. On a larger scale, the summit corresponds to Putin's worldview, that great powers should determine their own spheres of influence. Putin believes that Russia's vast nuclear arsenal still makes it a world power, even though Russia produces very little that the rest of the world wants apart from energy. Putin has called the 1991 breakup of the Soviet Union the greatest geopolitical catastrophe of the century and has sought to reassert Moscow's control over Ukraine. He could make maximalist demands, claiming eastern Ukraine as Russian, keeping Ukraine out of NATO, limiting the size of Ukraine's military. Trump considers himself to be a peacemaker. He has claimed to have ended multiple wars and made no secret of wanting a Nobel Peace Prize. But peace between Russia and Ukraine continues to elude him. Before leaving for Alaska, Trump has given Putin an ultimatum. He has warned of very severe consequences for Russia if Putin does not agree to halt the war after their meeting.
Will Russia face any consequences if Vladimir Putin does not agree to stop the war after your meeting on Friday?
Yes, they will. Yeah.
What will the consequences
there will be
be?
consequences.
Sanctions, tariffs?
There will be, I don't have to say, there will be very severe consequences.
At the same time, the White House has tempered expectations and described the Alaska summit as a listening exercise for Trump that would give him a better idea of Putin's plans. While previous American presidents might have agreed to a summit as a reward for concession towards a peace deal, there is no sign that Putin has changed his attitude towards rejecting any such outcome. Continued energy sales have allowed Russia to endure the toughest of Western sanctions imposed thus far, and the country has minimal direct trade with the US. Trump has not imposed the sharp tariffs on Russian imports levied against some American trading partners. Trump claimed that Putin will stop killing people if you get energy down another $10 a barrel. But he has not moved to sanction China, which is the largest importer of Russian oil. And India has said they intend to continue buying Russian oil. Zelensky has said that any peace deal that excludes Ukraine will be futile. Ahead of the Alaska summit, he joined a video call that Trump had held with European leaders. The 5 points agreed on in the phone call included keeping Ukraine at the table for follow-up meetings on the war and refusing to discuss peace terms, like swaps of land between Russia and Ukraine, before a ceasefire is in place. Ukraine and Europe have expressed fears that the Trump-Putin summit in Alaska could echo the 1945 Yalta summit, when Europe's map was redrawn without input from the affected countries.